Welcome back to Sunday NFL Countdown. The actives and inactives are in and more. What do we got on Melvin Gordon?
Well, as you mentioned earlier, Melvin Gordon's active, and he's going to be the emergency back, but that means he still might get in the game. You mentioned red zone situations. I spoke with Todd Durkin, his personal trainer. You saw him there, not only with Melvin Gordon, who trained him for 6 weeks, Durkin did, but he said he got him in great metabolic shape, meaning, stopping, trying to replicate the best he can on the field, in the weight room. And then Golden Tate was catching passes as well from Luis Perez, a quarterback we know. Golden Tate told me that he had no idea Melvin Gordon was this big and said that he was itching to come back and had to get back.
Well, and for the New England Patriots, Rex Burkhead listed as questionable today with a foot injury, who was limited in practice, is active today. That's a boost for the New England offense going into a tough venue in Buffalo. And we should also mention the other Patriots, Julian Edelman, also active, but when we look at the other list of actives and inactives, Donta Hightower, the Patriots linebacker, is inactive. Some big names on this list. More, what stands out to you?
Well, Donta Hightower stands out to me the most because he's the captain basically of that defense. And if Frank Gore's going to have a good day today, if the Buffalo Bills are going to have a good day, it may be because of Hightower's absence.
And in addition to that list, the Browns are missing all their cornerbacks, Denzel Ward, Greedy Williams, below to their secondary. Matthew Stafford active today, but went through a lot of pain this week for the Detroit Lions to be ready for today's game, Sam.
All right, good to know. Thanks, guys. Big NFC game in New Orleans today. The Cowboys beat the Saints in Dallas last season, but the Superdome presents a different set of challenges where the Saints are looking to start 3-1 for the second year in a row. Dak Prescott has the highest total QBR in the NFL this season, and he'll play a game in his home state of Louisiana for the first time in his NFL career. On the other sideline, Teddy Bridgewater will make his second start this season in place of an injured Drew Brees. Bridgewater had 2 touchdown passes last week in the Saints' win over the Seahawks. And one of those touchdown passes went to the Saints' top wideout, Michael Thomas, whose 150 catches are the most in the NFL over the last 2 seasons. Look, his numbers are great. His contract is guaranteed. 5 years, $61 million. He's one of the top 3 highest paid wide receivers in the league, a 2-time Pro Bowler, and yet he doesn't really fit the typical star receiver mold. Not real flashy, not known for being a headache or especially demanding. He just gets the job done. As Shelley Smith tells us, the football field isn't the only place where he's putting in good work.
There's a story that needs to be told.
To have representing your organization. Thanks to Shelley Smith for sharing his story with us. Because, Randy, he really is one of those guys. We know how good he is. We just don't know all that much about him because, like I said in the lead, he doesn't really fit some of that stereotype when it comes to the wide receiver. In your mind, what makes this guy so valuable for the Saints?
Well, he is the difference maker for the Saints. Everybody know what they got in the quarterback. Everybody know what they have in the running back. But Michael Thomas, being able to look at a guy on film that you have to guard, is he elite? Oh, you daggone right, Michael Thomas elite. As you can see right here, he's not the best athlete. He's not the fastest guy, but guess what? He is determined to be the best on the field each and every Sunday. Watch his quick slant. What has Michael Thomas been doing this offseason? One thing that I can tell, he's been working on his feet, and he's gotten his weight down. Right here with this slant, you don't tell where Michael Thomas is going. Last but not least, 9 stops. Watch what he does after this. Stamp it with a spin, with a slight stiff arm. To me, you're asking me about the eliteness of Michael Thomas. You just heard me say he's not the best athlete. He's not the fastest guy. But one thing that I would tell you, he put a tweet out, and I'm going to read his tweet that he put out this week. The tweet said, "Don't cheat the grind or skip steps because it'll catch up to you." You heard Drew Brees just talking about how this guy just wants to be perfect in everything he does on the football field and off the football field. So you're talking about elite. This man is elite. He brings it each and every week. I love Michael Thomas for the New Orleans Saints.
All right, let's turn it to the team that he's up against today in the Cowboys. Rex, they check all the boxes early. Quarterback looks good. Running game looks good. They look good up front. The defense looks good. So are you ready to say that the Cowboys are the best team in the NFC?
Well, right now it'd be almost impossible to argue that they're not. I mean, you mentioned Drew Brees out with the Saints. So that's a huge difference right there. It'll be the difference in this game, in my opinion, today. And then the Rams, I think it's close. But if this game is played in Dallas, I would take the Cowboys because Goff and company are different on the road. But when I look at it specifically, the Saints are one of those great teams. But the difference today, Dallas is not going to let you, beat them on check down Teddy, because that's what he is. 9 of his 19 completions last week went to the running backs. Smart game planning, without question. But that's not going to be the case, man. Those linebackers from Dallas, we know are going to take care of the running backs in the passing game. So I think it's going to be tough sledding for the Saints today.
And you mentioned the Dallas Cowboys. They're the best team in the NFC. And the reason why is that Dak Prescott, from the last playoff game that he lost last year to right now, he is playing much better football. Much better. And specifically in the red zone. Last year, that was a struggle for this Dallas Cowboys team. Before the Amari Cooper trade, they were saying, well, is Dak a bust? Can he even be the guy in the future? They bring in Amari Cooper, and he has started to steadily improve since that time. And this offseason, in a time where a lot of guys are filming commercials in the offseason, doing other things, Dak Prescott got so much better. 11 for 13 with 5 touchdowns in the red zone so far this year. Dak Prescott's the reason that we're talking about them being the best.
I like that offensive line, too.
Yeah, I love the formula. I mean, this is a championship formula. Running game, good offensive line. Everybody knows I love those 2 linebackers out there, Dak, an improved quarterback. Why am I waiting for them to blow it? Why am I waiting?
Because that's what they do.
Why am I waiting for that coaching staff to say, you know what, Dak can be even this. So let's throw it 50 times and give it to Zeke just 10 times because we can be whatever we want to be. It's hard for coaches sometimes because there's arrogance. There's also a little bit of stubbornness to those coaches because they want to show that they're so smart. All right, we want to change things up. Oh, this is our identity. We're going to run the ball. We're going to do some play action passes with Dak. We're going to play good defense. That's who we are. But we're not going to be them this week. Okay, because we're going to trick them. And I'm just waiting for the Dallas Cowboys to do that because then the next week we'll be like, what is wrong with them? How come Zeke only got it 7 times? I'm waiting for that moment. Is that moment coming, or are they smart enough to realize this is who you are and just accentuate it and take it all the way to successful things?
I got a reason for your skepticism, okay? The team that they're playing today has more wins than all the teams they've beaten combined. Look, they've looked great so far, but they have not been tested yet. Today on the road, even though I'm hearing apparently the crowd's going to be a little mixed, we know the Superdome is not the easiest place to play. We'll see how they do down there in New Orleans, and we're going to pick this game later in the show, so you won't want to miss that. On to 2 teams the Cowboys will see in November. In Buffalo today, about an hour away from kickoff at New Era Field, the Super Bowl champs come into this one outscoring their opponents 106-17 in their first 3 games. The Bills are averaging 22 points per game so far this year. Our Diana Rossini is hopefully safe, and she's in the stadium with more.
Sam, I was able to talk to Julian Edelman inside the tunnel after his workout, and I asked him, are you playing? He gave me a thumbs up. I said 100%, and he gave me a thumbs up, so we'll see how active he will be in this offense with Tom Brady, who wants his guy out there. But this offense causes Sean McDermott, the Bills head coach, tons of headaches. The way he describes this New England team, he says, it's like you're wading in water. The water's up to your neck, and then boom, another wave comes crashing down at you. When you take away one thing, they come at you with another. So the way this team thinks they can stay afloat, they want to play quickly, and they want to attack this Patriots offensive line. The plan for the Bills is to make New England run the ball. Sam?
Yeah, that always sounds like a good plan in theory. Rex, you know what it's like to be up to your neck and the waves keep coming. I'm not trying to remind you, but how can the Bills win this game today?
Well, it's interesting. You listen to Sean McDermott. He talks about, hey, they're going to make them run the football. They did that the last time they played. New England said, okay, that's fine. They ran it for 273 yards. So when I look at it right here, yes, they're not the same offensive line. 2 starters out. And they're only averaging 2, I think Sony Michel's averaging 2.5 yards a carry. So what I think they're going to do, they're going to sit back and say, we're going to play our cover 2 defense, but they can't play it every snap. So I put a tape together right here. You're going to see Micah Hyde is, in my opinion, one of the best safeties in the league. But he's got to do a great job of disguising. Get down there in the box like you're in there for the run. Get him to check to a pass. Now we're going to get back to playing our cover 2 defense, which they do better than anybody in the league. And by the way, that's one of the reasons, because he is a hitter. He can get back and play that deep half. And now here's another guy we never talk about, Tremaine Edmonds. I have 3 plays here. Watch this kid in space. Teddy, this dude is long. Yeah. He affects the passing game. He can run. He's a great tackler in space. Watch him cover this tight end here. Nobody does it. He undercuts him. Why? That's a big body right there. It's hard to throw over. And now you're going to see him again here. Look at the vision that he has, that length. It bothers people, and he closes the deal. Last time they played, he had 11 tackles. He's going to need to do more of the same here. But I think that combination, Leslie Frazier, we talked about him earlier, Randy, he's doing a tremendous job. But he's got to disguise it. You can't just sit back and say, hey, here's our 2-deep shell. We're going to stay in it. He's got to do some things that are creative against Brady if he's going to get him to flinch at all.
You know, well, they're talking about how hard it is to play in Buffalo. The other 3-0, they have some good things going. Brew, you remember we went there in our undefeated season. Buffalo was on like a 3 or 4 game win streak, and you remember the results of that game, right? It was a blowout. Yeah. All right. So I'm thinking today for the New England Patriots going into Buffalo. Oh, right here you see what we were able to do. And Matt, I already know, so I'm going to go ahead and toot my horn. 4 touchdowns in the first half with the Patriots offense. Man, I love it and I miss it. But the one thing today that I really look at is the defense from the New England Patriots. They're number 1 for a reason, and definitely on the back end. Yes, they're going to be able to send some pressures at Josh Allen, slow down the running game, and make this game one-dimensional. If you put the ball in Josh Allen's hand, everybody knows what we're going to get from the old savvy veteran Frank Gore. But if they're able to put the ball in Josh Allen's hands with that number 1 defense, man, look for Devin McCourty to come up with another pick.
Hey, New England doesn't have no Randy Moss anymore.
They got Tom Brady.
They don't have Randy Moss.
The Patriots defense in the past usually gives you yards but doesn't let you score in the red zone. But now they don't even let you to the red zone. So I think for them to even have a chance, it's just going to be like Josh Allen running around, doing something like non-sustainable, throwing his body in harm's way, taking one for the team and throwing it like across the field. It's going to be that kind of a game.
And what New Orleans do last week when they were playing, and then they were a man down and things were against them. They got a special team score. You get non-traditional scores. That's what Buffalo's going to have to do. To just think that we're going to line up, we're going to stop them, we're going to put the ball in our quarterback's hands. That's how we'll win the football game. It's not happening that way. I know there's a lot of excitement in Orchard Park right now, but I'm telling you the truth, there's also a lot of doubt because they really don't know, because they're thinking, man, I wonder how we're going to do. I think there's a lot of that in every Bills fan that's thinking, we really want to see if we're for real, and this is the test. And I think the Buffalo Bills, after this game, you lose this game, they'll still be saying, 3-1's not bad. 3-1's a good start to September.
I think that's fair.
And we still got some things that we can look forward to. That's the mindset that they have right now. Good start. If they get this one, I understand. It would be huge for them. I understand.
Super Bowl! Yeah, wait, let's talk about how huge. If they win this game today, Super Bowl, that's got to be bigger than if they make it to the wild card and lose in the first round.
Yeah.
Oh. In Buffalo, that's a bigger deal, right, Rex?
Absolutely.
You're the expert
Are you kidding me? You go 4-0 here and beat the Patriots? Oh, my gosh.
But even if they don't, I think, like Sam and I were talking yesterday, and this is a team that I feel like their aspirations are to be a wild card team. Like, they feel like, wow, we're 3-0 right now. We got a chance at the wild card. Like, that's how long the domination has been for the New England Patriots. So, yes, I get that they get to play each other today. But to your point, if they lose and play a great game, I feel like Buffalo fans still believe in their team. And they're like, you know what? This is still our year to be a wild card team.
But if they get blown out, that's a whole different mentality. Like,
are you kidding me? After all they've been through, they're clearly sticking with them no matter what. Okay, these fans have proven their loyalty out there. We just hope they're okay after what we saw early this morning. All right, still a whole lot more to come on Countdown. Patrick Mahomes takes on the undefeated Lions today. Find out why he's studying the AFC Championship tape against the Patriots to prepare for Detroit's defense. Plus, 2 Heisman Trophy winners face off today. Who's going to take some ownership in the AFC North this year? And Lamar Jackson hates it. I mean, he really hates it. Have you heard?
Only if I have to. I like throwing touchdowns instead of running them.